What if the blueprints for the cities of tomorrow weren't being drawn up on paper, but were actually being built inside a video game? Well, that's exactly what we're going to look at today. A case study where that line between a digital world and real-world urban planning basically vanishes.
I mean, it's a huge question, right? Can you really capture all the complex, dynamic, and, let's be honest, often chaotic systems of a living, breathing city inside a game? We are definitely about to find out.
So let's dive into Marsden Point. This is a digital city, but it wasn't built by a gamer. It was built by a professional urban planner who's using this virtual space to test out theories, solve problems, and really dig into what makes a city not just work, but thrive. So how does a professional actually use a game as a serious tool? This is where we get into this idea of a virtual sandbox.
Okay, so our guide through all this is Ben Ross. He's a senior policy planner in his day job, and he's been keeping this incredible blog, documenting his whole experience and asking this one big question. Is a game like City Skylines 2 just a fun distraction, or is it a simulation powerful enough to be a real, genuine tool for his profession?
All right, first things first, every city needs an economic engine. And for Marsden Point, the very first major challenge was building one from the ground up. Now, Marsden Point wasn't a totally blank slate. It already had people moving in, a strong port, and a good rural economy. But, and this is the key, it was missing the high-impact industries you need to actually process all its own raw materials. Without that piece, it could never have a truly strong, self-sufficient economy. So what does a real planner do? Well, he makes a plan. Ross tackled this exactly like he would for his real job. He dug into the existing layout, found opportunities in the city's farms, and then very strategically zoned new land to create a complete end-to-end supply chain. And this slide just shows that first step perfectly. It's not just about, farming some grain. It's about building the cereal plant right next door. It's not just about raising livestock. It's about building the processing facility. This is that crucial jump from raw goods to finished products, and that's the heart of real economic development. Of course, all those new factories and businesses created a new problem. Or maybe a better way to put it is a new opportunity. Suddenly you have thousands of new jobs, and all those people needed a place to live. And that's what led to the creation of a whole new residential town. Okay, so creating jobs is one thing. That's half the battle. But a city is so much more than its economy. It's got to be a place for people.
Right. I mean, a truly successful city has to think about quality of life. People need more than just a roof over their heads. They need parks, schools, shops, and, good ways to get from one place to another. This was the next big challenge for Marsden Point.
Now, what is so cool about this slide is the direct comparison. On the left, you've got these bustling streets in the virtual city, designed for everybody. Cars, trams, bikes, people on foot. And on the right, a real-world pedestrian-friendly street. The design principles are literally identical. Walkability, mixed-use spaces, a human scale.
And you see it again right here. On the left, that's Marsden Point's waterfront tram system. On the right, that's a beautiful, green transit corridor in the real world. The goal is totally universal. Move people efficiently, and create public spaces people actually want to be in.
And the simulation lets planners like Ross put these solutions into practice immediately. See, these dedicated lanes for different types of transport, that's not just for looks. It's his way of directly tackling the real-world headache of traffic congestion, which makes the whole city work better for everyone.
So, we've looked at the economy and we've looked at the people. But how does it all fit together? Well, it's all about connecting the dots.
And this, right here, is the absolute key to urban planning. A city isn't just a random collection of buildings and roads. No way! It's a deeply interconnected system where every single choice you make has a ripple effect.
At the heart of that system is this powerful feedback loop. Seriously, think about it. Say you build a new subway line. That's a transport choice. All of a sudden, the land around those new stations becomes way more valuable. That's a land use change. So developers come in and build dense apartments and offices, which, you guessed it, creates even more demand for transport. It's this constant cycle, and a great planner knows how to manage it.
So, after all this building and experimenting and analyzing, what did our real-life planner decide? What's the final verdict? Ross basically used Marsden Point as his professional testbed. So when new features came out for the game, like, say, more complex supply chains or new bike lane infrastructure, he could plug them into his virtual city first, see how all the systems reacted, and learn lessons before ever trying to apply those ideas in the real world. And his final review? Wow, it's overwhelmingly positive. He rates the game's planning realism at get this, a 90%. For him, this isn't a toy. It's a powerful, realistic, and incredibly creative tool for exploring the tough challenges of modern cities.
And when you look at the result, this vibrant, complex, working city, you can totally see why. The game gives you a sandbox that's rich enough to actually model that intricate dance between industry, infrastructure, and human life that really defines a big city.
Which leaves us all with one final, really critical question. Tools like this prove we can design and simulate smarter, more efficient, more livable cities in a virtual world. So the challenge for all of us is, what's it going to take to bring those incredible visions to life in the real one?